Hello there, I'm Jana Eubank. This week, the Hit Kit Club design team is showcasing the August cut files, and I am assigned to work with the bicycle cut file, which is super cute. Now, you're going to kind of get a 2-for-1 video today because this is the second time that I'm creating this layout. I had a lot of fun with the first layout, but there were a few things that were wrong with it. My daughter was looking towards the left and the bicycle was riding towards the right, so I didn't like the flow of that. Also, the jam jar that my story is about in the photo is being covered up by the bicycle seat. So I had a lot of fun creating the banners and the titles and everything on this last page, but after looking at it, I knew that the flow wasn't right and that I wanted to rework it. So I'm going to pull up some of the embellishments on that first layout and reuse them on the second layout. And also I'm going to stick with the same general idea, but just clean it up a little bit. So I'm starting fresh with a grapefruit piece of cardstock, and then I'll bring back in that blue plaid for the background. Now I'm just going to start with a frame and then stitch the outside edge. Now, before I get too far into this layout, the second layout that is, I want to bounce back towards the first layout and show you what I did with the cut file. Some of the most recent cut files have a couple of layers in them. This bicycle one didn't. However, I did want my bicycle to have more than one color. So what I decided to do was cut this cut file out in two different pieces of cardstock. I have the black base layer, and now I have a second layer which is in white that I've trimmed out the wheels, the handlebars, and the seat. That way I can use my the Distress Oxide ink from the color kit to color the bicycle frame in this yellow color to match the layout. So this worked out perfectly. I'm just going to reassemble this bicycle, and then you can see that I've added a couple of embellishments to accent the wheels. I have some of the circle chipboard shapes from the main kit, and then on top of those I have layered the circle ephemera shapes from the Pocket Life kit, just to add a fun whimsical touch to this bicycle. Okay, so now that we have this bicycle set, let's head back on over to the second layout and I'll show you how I'm going to rework this design. I love the pattern papers that I chose earlier, but my previous layout, the bicycle was just kind of floating there at the bottom. I didn't have any sort of layer that grounded the wheels. So I decided to bring in the Lime Zest cardstock from the cardstock kit and create an L-shaped base or a crosshatch pattern of these layered strips, so that my bicycle would have a ground to sit on. I'm going to layer on top of it a few of the branding strips. I love this tiny floral mixed with the Tutti Frutti branding strip. I think that looks so pretty and fun. And now I'm going to bring in a few more accents from the previous page. I'm going to peel up this butterfly foam sticker from the foam phrases, and then a few of the puffy bees from the embellishment kit. In my previous layout, I also created a title using the June Taylor alphabet die, and I'm going to reuse that as well. The first part of my title is also using some puffy stickers from the February main kit that are anchored on the cardstock tags from the August embellishment kit. I'm also bringing in some of the die cuts with the strawberries in both the cardstock and the chipboard pieces to emphasize my story. So speaking of my story, I want to tell you about this photo. This is a photo of my daughter at the beginning of her second year at college. Now she's only about an hour away from us at this point, so she's not too far, but she still was missing home. After coming home for a summer and being with us, she started missing the little comforts of home. So she knew I was coming down to visit her. And she said, "Hey mom, can you bring me a jar of our homemade strawberry jam?" So of course I did. I'm going to oblige that. So I thought this kit would be so cute to bring her, to emphasize that strawberries of the strawberry jam. And then the bicycle ended up being perfect because it's a special delivery, right? Okay, let me tell you why I associate this bicycle with deliveries. Do you remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood when Mr. McFeely would come on his bike and he would have a speedy delivery? So that is where this bicycle come from. I brought a speedy delivery of this homemade jam down to my daughter at school so that she can enjoy a few comforts of home. All right, so now that I have this layout pretty much done, I wanted to add a few more accents. You can see that I added one of the acetate hearts to the left of that love you phrase. I've also added in some of the die cut scallop borders. That's the June scallop border die. I'm also bringing in the bright floral die. I just thought it would be fun to create some mini florals. So I've cut out the small mini floral die in the grapefruit and in the Tutti Frutti pink cardstocks from the cardstock kit. I'm shaping them just with the end of my pen, and then I'm going to also cut out the smallest branch from that leaf branch die from the bright floral. So I'm going to create a few clusters around the page, which I think are so cute, and then I'm going to accent the centers of each of those flowers with the pearl stickers. Flowers are a really fun way to add more dimension to your layouts, and even though I already had lights up die cuts, even just adding in these few little flower die cuts just really bumped it up a notch. So here's where I'm going to add the little floral stickers, and then I will finish off this page with a few chipboard phrases to the right of the bike. You can see that I've added my journaling above and below my title, and the chipboard phrases will tie in to the black and white color of those. They have a similar typed written font, and so I think that balances out well. Now, I'll show you my closing shots in one moment, but I also brought in a few more embellishments from the first layout that I created, and I placed them to the left of the bicycle, so be sure to notice that in the final shots. You guys, I hope you've enjoyed seeing how I use the bicycle die and also given you permission to rework a layout that you don't like. I've learned from looking through my albums that the pages that I didn't quite like, they always just kind of irk me a little bit when I see them. So I've learned now that if I don't love the flow or the exact design, that it's okay to peel up that first layout and use some of those elements to recreate my layout in a design that I will like going forward. All right, guys, my name is Jana Eubank for Hip Kit Club. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you again soon.